Fire Call, the fire safety show with Division Chief Jim Sideras.
Hi, my name is Division Chief Jim Sideras, and you are watching Fire Call, where we're taking you behind the scenes of Sioux Falls Fire Rescue, America's Fire Department. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to get to some shout-outs. This show is really cool because we have some neat stuff on this. Before I tell you what they are, though, we're going to do some quick shout-outs. Now, what's a shout-out? Shout-outs, if you want us to recognize your department, send us an email. Go on our site, www.siouxfalls.org/firecall, and you can email us your questions. If we use your question or shout-out, sassy Sioux Falls Fire Rescue t-shirt, can't find them anywhere but here. So we'll get to these shout-outs. Now, these shout-outs are coming from all over. It's kind of cool because we know that you're watching our show. This first one is from Thomas. Thomas wants a shout-out to the Camden Fire Rescue in Camden, South Carolina. This shout-out is from Brandon. Brandon wants a shout-out to the Granite Falls Fire Department in Granite Falls, Washington. And trying to trick me up because some of these cities I can't pronounce too well. Will wants a shout-out to the Marion Fire Company of Ardmore in Lower Marion, Pennsylvania. That was a mouthful. And these are coming from all over. We get some all over the world. This one's coming from our neighbors in Canada. Two firefighters, Eric and Alex. They want a shout out to the Hudson Volunteer Fire Department in Quebec, Canada. And on this episode, we got three cool things. We're going to see the new truck of the month. It's nothing like you've ever seen before. It's one of our newest rescue trucks. This thing is designed from the bottom up to be pure rescue. We're also going to look at some of the training we do with the local colleges and universities. Neat thing was, we looked at the power of fire. We're going to see it. And right after they did the training, they had a fire at one of the colleges. So we get to see the students spring into action because they know what to do. And then we're going to have, if you've been in the fire service, we got a once-in-a-lifetime interview with one of the most recognizable people in the fire service. As soon as you see him, you're going to know who it is, and you're going to like this. So stay tuned, sit back, turn off the blueberry, blackberry, tell the kids to be quiet, sit down, because they're going to see some good stuff on Fire Call. Got three great questions, all about the same thing. Hey, and they're all about me. First one's from Kyle. Kyle lives in Brookings, South Dakota. Matt from Queen City, Arizona. And Ethan. Ethan lives in Owings Mills, Maryland. They want to know how long I've been involved in fire and EMS, and also what was my inspiration. Well, next year, it's going to be the big 3-0 for me. I've been involved in fire and EMS since 1980. Been on Sioux Falls Fire Rescue since 1983, so you can do the math, but done a lot, seen a lot. Inspiration, when I was a kid, I used to watch a show called Emergency, and you ain't been a firefighter if you don't know Johnny Gage. Luckily, Randolph Mantooth, who played Johnny Gage, was in Sioux Falls. I got to interview my childhood idol. That's coming up next. Unbelievable. From the EMS conference in Sioux Falls, we have firefighter Johnny Gage, Randolph Mantooth with us, and I've been watching this show since I was a kid. This is my lunchbox, and this is, I gotta say, thanks for taking the time.
My pleasure.
This is impressive. And the one question I had for you is, sometimes we don't realize that the most significant events in our life are happening when they are. And I was wondering, when you did the show, which was a few years ago, because I watched it when I was a kid.
30 years this last June, it will be off the air.
But it's still on.
It's still on. Well, I mean, it went off the first run.
Did you realize at that time the impact you would have on that whole generation of kids my age becoming firefighters?
Yeah, no. When we were shooting the show, we were totally insulated and isolated because, you know, we were shooting every day. We rarely got out into the public at all. We knew the show was popular because we knew we could see the ratings. Mm-hmm. It was very popular. We were against All in the Family. We never really won our hour, but you know, we were healthy enough that we stayed against All in the Family for 5 years. But no, it wasn't until, you know, like we would, every now and then we'd get like a 3-day off, and then we'd take off and we'd go to these different cities, and we would, you know, do their festivals and their parades and what have you. And then it began to dawn on us that, oh, this show is having a huge impact, but we still didn't know to what extent it was happening. We didn't realize that people were becoming firefighters because of the show. We didn't realize that people were changing their careers to become paramedics or to become firefighters. Oh yeah,
because it was unheard of at the time. It was just going to fire calls.
It didn't exist before. Well, it existed for a couple of years, but the whole world didn't know what a paramedic was. I didn't know what a paramedic was when they told me I'd be playing a LA County firefighter paramedic Johnny Gage. First thing I asked was, "What the hell's a paramedic?"
Now, how did you figure out? Because you play the part so well. How did
I trained with the fire department, and I trained with the paramedics, and they wanted us to be as able as we possibly could be physically when we're doing the show. And of course, we had technical advisors there teaching us all along the way, teaching us stuff we didn't pick up in class.
Well, because this is off the show, and I was thinking some of that, we watched the show and it's like, holy crap, those guys are doing that without.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing. Holy crap, we're doing this, you know.
The paycheck isn't quite big enough to. So you were actually doing the job of a firefighter in some cases.
Yeah.
And now going back, fast forwarding it, you're out speaking to firefighters, and what are you hearing from the majority of firefighters? Are you hearing just like me coming up saying, "Oh yeah, you were the man"?
Yeah. The show had an impact on firefighters and paramedics like no other show, and the reason for that is that they didn't make things up. They didn't try to soap it up. They didn't try to, nobody's father was going to get drunk and beat somebody's wife. None of that was part. This was the first procedural show, I think, ever on TV, and it was all about the job. It wasn't about anything else. And the audience instinctively knows when it's real. And Jack Webb and Bob Senator, who created the show, said that they wanted this to be as realistic and as authentic as they could get away with. And they succeeded. And the audience subliminally knew that it was real. We didn't make any of these rescues up. These were all taken out these were all taken out of the logs of somebody's fire log. At either LA County or LA City or Pittsburgh or New York or where, nobody made these things up. These people really did get themselves into these different messes.
Now you're traveling around now. What organizations are you supporting?
Right now I'm the spokesperson for the IAFF, which is the International Federation of Firefighters, the largest union in the U.S., and I speak to them about health and safety. Because I was almost killed with carbon monoxide poisoning. And of course, we all know the number one killer of firefighters is not fire or explosions or collapsing buildings, it's heart attack. And carbon monoxide poisoning, cyanide poisoning, it all has a great accumulative effect on firefighters. And that's what I do, is I go out and try to teach that. Then when I'm talking to in places like this, I'm talking to paramedics and EMTs. And I tell them about the history of how it started, how 4 doctors who fought all the odds to get paramedics out into the field in the late 60s and early 70s. And a lot of these people don't realize they've got a pretty rich history. And they've got some heroes. And they should be aware of them. Those are my 2 basic goals, is to let the paramedics and the EMTs know they have heroes and they've got a history, and let the firefighters know that we want them to be safe, and we want them to add 10, maybe 15 years to a job. My question to them is, you lead a hero's life. Why would you want to die an ordinary man's death?
Oh, great point. That's a great point. Well, and you look like you could hop on a truck right now. So.
I still ride out. I still ride out with LA County, because we're developing a show called USAR 1, which is
really?
Which is based on LA County Fire Department's urban search and rescue.
Are you going to be in the show?
No. I'm much more comfortable being behind the camera now. I like that. I have more power, and I don't have to get up so darn early in the morning.
Well, I'm thinking back 30 years ago, if I would have known I was going to meet you, I would have never believed it, because you honestly, and I know you hear this, but you changed my life for the better, because I'm doing what I felt I was meant to do, and that's because of you. So I appreciate it very, very much.
Well, I appreciate you saying that.
Thank you, Randy.
You're welcome.
We have a great question from our friends up north. This one's from Brian. Brian lives in Franklin Center, Quebec, Canada. And he wants to know, what does Sioux Falls do in the way of fire prevention teaching in the community? Perfect person to answer that is Inspector Barry Mogg. Barry, tell us what's been going on, because you had a really great program with one of our colleges.
We did. At Augustana College this year, we had, for the first time, we were able to teach their resident assistants and peer advisors for the dorm rooms on what happens in the event of a fire. They went through some fire extinguisher training, got to work with some of our gear, and the highlight of the day, we were able to burn two sprinkler rooms, two rooms
exactly alike.
Identical, except one had a home fire sprinkler system in it, just like they have in some of their dorm rooms, and the other one had no fire protection.
Okay, so an average just like a regular dorm room?
Just like a regular dorm room without the sprinkler system. As you'll see in the video, the first room, the fire grows out of control and
very quickly.
Very quickly. And you can see the power of the fire. Fire is very violent.
Temperature is about 320 degrees right now. Remember your dorm room, quite close up on all four sides, the door shut. Feel that nice thick black smoke up to breathing. Everything down below is burning now. Eventually it got hot enough where the entire room flashes over. Flashover is about 1,000 degrees, right there. The room just flashed over 1,000 degrees. Flashover can reach up to 2,000 degrees when it gets hot. You feel the heat? Okay, go ahead and put it out. A little toasty, boys and girls. All right.
The second room, what you can see is the sprinkler head goes off after about 25 seconds. Having a sprinkler in your room, dorm room, home, business, wherever it may be, is just like having a firefighter living with you. It is there. When it gets hot, it activates, put water on the fire immediately, and either control or extinguish the fire in a matter of seconds.
Now, one question people are going to have, just for people say in the movies, one sprinkler goes off, they all go off in the whole building. True or false?
That is false.
Okay.
Like we have to tell our kids. That's the movies. This is reality.
Okay, Barry. Great. Well, thanks a lot for all your help. I'm on the campus of Augustana College, home of the Vikings. I am with Rick Tupper. Rick, your role here is I guess I don't know what it is.
I'm the Director of Campus Safety.
Okay, and the training that we did, how important was that for students to see the power of fire, essentially?
You know, Jim, I think when I look at our job, really, I look at anything that we can imagine can happen, so we have to be prepared for those things. So we look at a college campus is very active 24 hours a day, a lot of different structures, residential down to athletic structures.
Sure.
So we want to be prepared for anything that can happen in those. The training that we did here was related to every building that we have and to get students prepared for any type of fire emergency.
Really give them that perspective of here's what can happen and how fast it can happen.
Correct. I think where students don't understand is the speed. You know, we get the excuses when they don't go out of a fire alarm is, I've got time, the smoke will wake me up, firemen will rescue me, and we want to show them that, you know, some of those things may happen, but the reality is you may not have time to get out of the building.
Now, it's not all training because recently you had a fire here on campus, in this very building we're in.
We did. I mean, we did actually the training in the Elman Center the week before the fire incident here, where we took all of the staff through and showed them fire extinguishers, where they're located, did the fire extinguisher training, the evacuation procedures, not knowing that a week later they'd actually be using that.
Wow, it's almost scary, but it's great that you're proactive in looking at how we prevent deaths and injuries from fire.
And I think our student and our staff showed that they listened during those training sessions because we were able to go back with security camera footage and see how they all responded to the alarm, to the smoke, and how they evacuated the building.
Oh, that's great. Well, congratulations, Rick, and it's good talking with you.
Thank you.
I'm with Brady Holman. Brady is actually a student at Augustana, went through the training. We're going to talk to you about it now. Where are you from?
Fairmont, Minnesota.
And what brought you to Sioux Falls?
Sioux Falls. Well, I came here for Augustana College. I came to go to school here. So I had a cross-country coach that kind of recommended to me. His son went here, ran cross-country. And
like it here?
Yeah, I love it.
There you go. I guess you're going to stay another semester.
I'm going to try to, yeah.
Now tell me, you went through the training. What was the impact when you saw that power of fire in those two simulators?
That was really surprising, I guess. It never really occurred to me how quickly it fills up with smoke. It was really kind of shocking, I guess. I don't think anyone really expected it to fill up that quickly.
Now, you live in one of the dorms.
Yeah, I live in Stavig.
And you're
I'm a PA, peer advisor.
So that's even more responsibility on what can happen to these fires. Now, did you take any of that information back to your floor?
Yeah, at our floor meeting, we kind of discussed like the emergency procedures, things like that, location of fire extinguishers. Kind of pointed out that these things are serious and you really need to get out as soon as you can, as soon as you hear those alarms going off. So.
Well, especially with students, you think about Halloween coming up and the holidays, and everyone has decorations up.
Oh yeah.
Do you allow candles in the rooms?
No candles in the rooms. That's a little trouble we have there, but we haven't had problems with that this year yet.
So, a valuable training, and you'd recommend it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it was. We got to have the hands-on with the fire extinguishers and things like that.
How did that? What did you think of that?
Because that was interesting. It's kind of intimidating if you don't really know exactly how they work at first. So it was good to actually get your, have a chance at trying those out there and seeing that they do the job pretty well.
Planning on changing your career to be a firefighter now?
Oh, we'll see. I don't know. It's pretty exciting.
Okay. Thanks, Brady.
Thank you.
Got a pop quiz question. Now, this is a good question. This one comes from Ty. Ty lives in New Hartford, Connecticut. Pop quiz question. This is Ryan Davis. Ryan, you've been on the department how long?
Just over 3 years.
Pretty good firefighter, aren't you?
I'd like to think so.
Pretty much could answer any question, I bet.
Maybe.
Yep. Okay, you can do this. Pop quiz question. Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. We've got a big fire going on. Building's compromised. Incident commander gives the evacuation to... gives the notice, evacuate the building. What will you hear on the fire ground when the command is to evacuate the building? That's what Ty wants to know. Ty wants to know, I want to know, and I want to see if you know it.
Well, all the fire trucks on the fire ground will then blow their air horns all at the same time.
Okay, Ryan, the air horns are going off. How many times do you blast those air horns? 4, a soda pop for the entire department.
Well, they blast the air horns 3 times.
Yes. You are the man, Ryan. I don't care what they say. I think you're a good firefighter.
Thank you.
Everybody likes a truck of the month, and this time we have a brand new truck in the department. This is USAR 5. And to show us USAR 5 is my favorite firefighter and yours, Patrick Duffy.
Thank you.
3 years in the department?
Yep, 3 years.
Living large?
Yes. Like in the new rescue station.
I bet. This is sassy. Sassy place to live.
Yeah.
Well, show us a new truck. Now, this one just came online last couple months?
Yep, about a month and a half ago, middle of August, this one came on.
And this truck's specifically designed for what kind of calls?
This truck is designed for high-angle rescue, rope rescue, water rescue, and also confined space.
So a little bit of everything in it for some highly trained people.
That is correct.
Well, let's go on. Now, you got your young and lovely assistant to help. It's all designed to quick access. Tell us about some of this stuff.
Yep. Here, this compartment, we have a lot of our PFDs, our life jackets.
PFD stands for?
Personal flotation devices. And we got many different sizes here. We got some jacket kind for winter time when it's colder. We also have dry immersion suits here, and that will be for ice rescue, water rescue.
So you're dry inside the suit, so you can go, because we're going to be going through the ice.
Yep. That's right. So we'll stay warm and we won't get wet with that. This one here, we have a lot of our ropes and our equipment rigging for our high angle and rope rescue.
So rigging means you can send someone up to the roof or up on top, rig it if you have to rappel down or do any hauling systems. All the bags are set up for that type of
That is right.
work.
We have all our personal bags over there, so we each got our equipment. We got helmets, gloves, and then a lot of equipment, some pulleys and carabiners, so we're ready to go.
And lots of rope, of course.
In this next compartment here that you'll see, this is a lot of our confined space equipment. We have a lot of supplied air.
And confined space is going to be some place where we have one way in, one way out, like a tank, a vessel of some type, underground, a vault.
Yes, where it's not safe to be continually, but a place where you can go in and help a patient that might be there. This next compartment here, we have a lot of our ice rescue equipment and tools. We also have in this box here a line gun, so we can shoot across the water to get a line
basically
across.
Almost like a shotgun shoots a projectile, and the rope feeds out the back, so you can pull a heavier line back across.
Yep. Here we have some more confined space equipment. We have big rolls of line, that is for supplied air so we can breathe and go in, so we don't have to have big tanks with us. We can just take
So this peels
air
off and it gives you supplied air. Does it also have communication systems built in?
It does. We have communications built in these lines here so we can talk back and forth to one another.
Perfect. And what are these, the big fans?
The big fans here, they can blow air. We can transfer air from one place to another down into the confined space. So that is a very big issue in confined space.
It looks like
ventilation.
you got Stokes baskets?
Yep, we got a couple. One's like a sled for the ice rescue, so we can pull the patient out. And then another one we can use for like high line or bringing somebody up or down a structure. We also have a winch down here, and that can be put on each side of the truck. We have
So the winch can be actually this, then can be mounted in any of these ports on the side of the truck, the receiving hitches?
Yes,
so you could go right off the side of this without having to change the location of the truck.
Yep.
Smart idea. I bet that was your idea.
Nope. Very good asset. Lots of anchor points on the truck.
So this truck is pretty much, you want to be working off the truck as much as you can if you have to go down a roadway, off the side of a road.
Yep, we try and bring the truck as close as we can to where we'll be using the equipment, so we have it there.
Now what is this? This is a pretty good idea.
Yes, this was designed especially for this truck and for us to use. It's got our new 30 horsepower Mercury.
Now this one isn't, we've talked about having jet motors. This one is a prop drive, but we had to put a cage around it just to protect it from the rocks and around the river.
Yep, that's correct. This gives us a lot more thrust during flood seasons.
And that's going to be common anymore. We have to prepare for any type of rescue, right?
That's right.
You bet.
Definitely. We also have in the back there, we got some picket system where if we do need an anchor, there's not big trees or anything, we can create one ourselves and make our own anchor. The next compartment here, we got all our EMS and medical equipment. This is set up just like any other truck that we have frontline service. We have everything in here that all the other trucks have.
Because you never know what you're going to be going on. And especially for a USAR call, you could be going outside the city and you want to carry, pretty much be self-contained as far as EMS.
Yep, that is right. We also have some bags that float, so if we do have to go in the water, we can bring the equipment with us.
Now that you had another good idea with that one, too. And this is a pass-through compartment, so everything that was on, we can go on either way on this compartment?
Yep, that's right. The more rope and the personal bags and more equipment.
Now tell us about the inside, the crew area. This is kind of a neat idea.
This inside is very neat. We got our setup back here for the 2 firefighters. We have access to the life jackets, so we can be getting geared up on the way to the call.
So where normally you're getting your firefighter gear on, this one, because you're going primarily and possibly water, as soon as you step off this truck, you're ready for action.
That's correct. We'll be ready to go.
And this is an action station.
Yes, we have been.
Now this truck also looks like it's a pretty stout truck, 4-wheel drive. What's on the front of this truck?
On the front here, we also got a winch, a 12,000-pound winch, and a few anchor points as well. So we are able to use the front as an anchor.
That is nice. Nice truck.
Yes, we are very happy with it.
Well, Pat, thanks for showing us around. Looks like you're going to have a lot of fun at this station.
That's right.
I sure did, so I hope you do too. Hope you liked the show. Hey, I was just a little bit giddy talking to Randolph Mantooth, and I think it probably showed. Had a great time. Got a few more shout-outs, worldwide shout-outs. Remember, we use your shout-out or we use your question. Sassy Sioux Falls Fire Rescue t-shirt. Can't get them anywhere but here. And everybody wants them. I tell you, everybody wants them. This shout-out is from Matthew. Matthew wants a shout-out to the Daphne Volunteer Fire Department in Daphne, Michigan. This next one is from Nick. Nick's getting his money worth here. Nick wants a shout-out to the Town of Wilson Black River Fire Department and first responders in Wisconsin. And last but not least, and I've been working on this one, this is from Brad. Brad wants a shout-out to the Carsland Hall of Strathmore Rural Fire Department in Canada. Whew, kind of sweating those out, and you guys know I'm not the best with all those towns. Hey, I hope you like the show. We got it every month, so stay tuned. If we haven't got to your questions, we'll get to it sooner or later. My name is Division Chief Jim Sideras, and you've been watching Fire Call.